So this is a Black & Decker 40 volt max 12-inch electric chainsaw. And this is a 12 by 8-inch or so slab of hardwood. As you can see, not much luck. To be fair, this is designed specifically for like 4 to 6 inch size sticks to small, medium trees, right? But there's something out there a little bit more pricey, but does a heck of a lot more. And this is the Ego Power Plus 56 volt 16-inch brushless electric chainsaw. These Ego products are just next level. Now, in all fairness, these aren't really meant to be competitors. I actually picked this up almost maybe 8 years ago or so because I had an edger that ran with these 40 volt lithium batteries that go with this, and this fully charged at time of testing. So I picked this up. You know, it's a little 12-inch, doesn't really have any automatic kickback bar. It has kind of the kickback bar right there, but there's no safety like this one has. And of course it does have the auto dispenser for your bar oil right here. Keep that chain nice and lubricated there. And it does pretty well. You can see it kind of gunks up a little bit, but it does really well in terms of some of that smaller material, smaller trees, little branches, things like that that you wouldn't want to tackle with just like a handsaw or something. This really does help in that, especially if you're just residential, you just have a house with maybe a little backyard, this might be the way to go. And not only that, you do have the adjustment here to completely remove the chain, tighten the chain, whatever you need to do, all right here. That's the Black & Decker 40 volt max. But what I really wanted to show you here today is this right here. So this I've had for a little over a year now, processed this whole down tree. This is cedar, if you didn't know already, from that nice vibrant color there. Really nice plates, really, you can cut with that, right? So this is cedar, already processed this whole tree. It fell across one of the trails on the property. And this is a really fascinating piece here. You have a lock, unlock kick bar here for safety. You do have that automatic dispenser there for your bar oil. I use just like the Oregon chain bar oil. Same adjustment, lock, tension, remove, all on this side right here. Unlike this chainsaw over here, this one does have some stop right here, so you don't actually go ram right up against there. Battery is the 56 volt Ego right here. These run in a lot of their products already, which is why I kind of picked it up. I don't really have any of the Ego products, but you know, Ego has a lot of great products, and this 16-inch saw is just another one of them. Now this compares, or at least they claim it compares right with a 40cc gas chainsaw. So that's the kind of the market's going for, and at $250 with the battery, with the 130 plus cuts, and I have not killed the battery on this yet. This whole tree, just cutting into logs and then chopping it up for firewood just last year, because it's been falling down for probably 5 years now, whatever it is, right? This last year, I never had to charge the battery just to process one tree. So this is a good option if you're looking to expand your ability to process trees on the property, and something a little bit thicker, because this cannot handle the hardwood. It's better for like pine trees and some softer wood, things like that. But this really can handle the up to 16 inches that it's actually claiming it can. So watch, even, let's say I think I even tried to cut these at one point, but watch, it doesn't have the power, it just kind of bounces around. Like, it'll get through that first soft layer there, that white, but once you flip off the safety, you have your trigger right here. See, it just doesn't want to go any deeper. And even some of the smaller pieces here, let's see if I can get one. It really only has that power, that oomph, to kind of go through that first layer before hitting that core. But then you get the Ego, and this one has a slide safety right here with your trigger, and it also has a safety kick bar. You have to pull back so it's locked. Can't do anything. Pull back, protects your hand, and has kickback. So now, kind of see that a little bit of a delay, but for the most part, instant just go. And that also equates to just the power that it has to actually slice through some of this wood. So just let the saw do its work, take your time. Want some dinner on that? It really is beautiful. And it smells good. Of course, you can trim it out too. So night and day, really. And to give you an idea, after those cuts, so hardwood, this is full battery. Hardwood is going to be much more difficult for any saw to get through. This one here, you can kind of see after those cuts I've made, you're down, what, 2 bars out of 5? I'll just keep going, see what happens. One, two, three, 4, 5. Where we at? Just down to 1. Let's kill this thing. Slicing it like this when it's so close with all the extra vibration, I think really doesn't help the saw battery hold its charge. And because I went and just sliced it into like maybe what, here to there is like 6, 7 pieces, and then just let it dry it out, burned it, call it a day, right? How's that oil doing? You can see the oil right there. Move that cap, you got max min. This does not burn or use up as much oil as the other one does either. The other one almost gets real sticky. This one really kind of helps just coat just the chain. How we doing? 1 bar still. This one's also much easier to clear out. You can kind of tell that a lot of the wood just kind of falls out compared to the one that gets kind of stuck. And that might be just because it's much a larger size. It's also about twice the weight. I think the other one is like 8.6 pounds. This one's like 14 pounds. It's flashing red. Give it a shake. Let it cool down a minute. I wasn't originally going to try this side just because I didn't really need to. This is the side towards the stump here. But we have a red line battery and we have about 16 inches on this cross cut right here. So I'm curious, can we do one last cut in the thick of the trunk? It goes down to maybe like 20 inches towards the base there. 16-inch full width of that blade. Let's see. Oh. That's it. Hey, I tried. Quick up close look for you. And for those of you familiar with chainsaws, gas chainsaws, you know, the usual ones we're used to, this is going to be much easier to use. It really comes down to the battery right here. Charges in about 3 or 4 hours or so. It doesn't take really that too long. Here is the nice chunky charger. There. Battery. Got some weight to it. Status right here. You can get a bunch of spares. And know that these bars are estimates. Anything electronic, and I've talked about this with like rideables, right, with one wheels. When you get down to 20%, it goes all over the place. So you don't know if it's just gonna stop right that like that, or if it's gonna keep going. In fact, when you shut this off for a little bit, let it rest, because when I did a bunch of cuts in a row, you'll see that that really wore the battery out quick. But if you just are using this like normal, where you're cutting up one cut at a time, maybe processing it, and then you go into another cut, this should last you much, much longer, because once the battery starts overheating, heavy use is going to wear it down. But this will actually go back up if you let it rest a little bit, and you'll get some more juice out of it once it kind of recalibrates. That's kind of the smart battery technology is for a lot of these type of larger electronics relying on these lithium batteries. So real close here, you see you have your cross safety. Push that in, gives you that trigger like you saw. Over here, in case you ever want to know, this you can actually flip out and unlock, lock. This whole plate comes off, allows you to remove the bar, the chain, whatever you need to do. Easy, right? Nice and twist there. You can kind of see, spelled it out here, tight or loose. So if this chain gets too loose, you can simply crank it down like that, and it's going to start helping crank that chain down. There's that 16-inch bar. Has been used quite a bit now. Use a kickback safety. It will not go unless that is back. And then flipping it around here, there of course is your fill. Take that out, unloosen, loosen it up. You can go and see how that is already about like 2/3 to go, about a third down or so. That's about as much as I've used it. I've only filled it once to the max level. Seems to be auto dispensing just fine. There is a stop, bit of teeth here. There was like this plastic shield, kind of like this on that Black & Decker, but this actually has nice teeth sticking out about a ½ inch or so, maybe about an inch. Around here, you have your battery release. Slides in right there. Kind of see that here. Just slides right in. Usually needs 2 hands though, so that's something to note. Just kind of smack it down, click it in. And finally on the bottom here, you'll see there's the inner workings right here. This channel though, right here, is much, much bigger than the Black & Decker, which means you get a lot less bark and debris getting just stuck in there, which is great, because the Black & Decker you have to clear out all the time. This one, it seems to just fall out much better. So there you have it. Both of these come with these protective little sleeve guards here for the actual blade itself, the chain there. And you can kind of tell, so I already have these batteries already for the trimmer, I think for the weed whacker, things like that. But it's not going to be able to do what that does, right? So you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 cuts. So these are both just great options for that entry-level chainsaw that you might need, and the fact that it is battery powered allows you to kind of get into that ecosystem like you already do with your power tools if you want. And Ego does a lot of the larger power devices, so a lot of like the chainsaws, the blowers, even lawnmowers and things like that. And it just runs really, really well. And really, I bought these myself. I didn't get these sent out to me or anything like that. Black & Decker I bought like 8 years ago. This I bought a little over a year ago, just because I couldn't get the work done with this little guy, right? So here's the size comparison really. And you just couldn't get the work done with the amount of power this is pumping out and the size of the blade, all that good stuff. And this one just takes the cake, runs really well. And for 14 pounds with that battery there, it's really not that bad. So, hey, thanks so much for watching. If you guys have any questions about either one of these chainsaws, hit them out in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. Until then, take care, and we'll see you in the next review.